On January 20th, Barack Hussein Obama took his place as the 44th President of the United States. And during his candidacy, he eagerly campaigned for the Latino vote.
We can do all this, but I can't do it on my own. I have to have your help. This election could well come down to how many Latinos turn out to vote. I'm proud my campaign is working hard to register more Latinos and bring them into the political process, because I truly believe that if we work together and fight together and stand together this fall, then you and I together, not only will we change registration rules, not only will I win the presidency, but we are going to change the political map.
And Latinos responded to the plea. On November 4, 2008, Barack Obama obtained almost 70% of the Latino vote, a percentage never registered before. Latino voters believe in his promise of change and diversity and came out to the polls to show their support.
Thank you.
So the sleeping giant has awakened. But is it getting the political power and knowledge it deserves?
Si se puede.
During his campaign, Obama was present at 3 major Latino conferences asking Latinos for their support.
This election could well be decided by Latino voters.
Yet when it was time to celebrate, he was absent at all Latino events organized on his name. The Latino community didn't even get an Obama representative to celebrate with them this historic election and recognize the remarkable support. Was this due to unfortunate logistics, or were Latinos snubbed or simply forgotten about during the inauguration? But the question goes beyond this incident. Are Latinos getting more political power, or are they actually losing it? In the past couple of months, Latinos went down from 3 Senate seats to 1.
Of course, I'm going to lose him as a colleague in the Senate.
In Clinton's initial round of appointments to cabinet and sub-cabinet positions, Latinos made up 6% of the nominations, while in 2001, 8% of Bush's nominees were Hispanics. The pressure is now on President Obama to increase that percentage, but so far the odds don't seem very optimistic.
I am humbled and honored to be nominated by President-elect Barack Obama.
Will Obama keep his diversity promise with the remaining appointments? Are Latinos really included in the promise of change for America? Or should they expect more of the same minimal government representation? Furthermore, is this community really in the mind of the administration when it comes to upcoming legislations? The first example being the proposed American Recovery and Reinvestment Plan.
An unprecedented crisis that calls for unprecedented action.
With tens of thousands of job losses, Pfizer and Home Depot being the latest announcements, and Latinos making up a big percent of their employees, is the recovery plan really going to invest in this community? Obama has just announced his proposed legislation of an $825 million stimulus package.
In short, if we do not act boldly and swiftly, a bad situation could become dramatically worse. That is why I've proposed an American Recovery and Reinvestment Plan to immediately jumpstart job creation as well as long-term economic growth. I'm pleased to say that both parties in Congress are already hard at work on this plan, and I hope to sign it into law in less than a month.
But it is still not clear where exactly the money is going. During hardship situations, Latinos rely on the community organizations for help, yet they are not getting any of this money. So will they be able to keep afloat with this crisis and be able to continue to aid their community when they're most needed? And with thousands, possibly millions of undocumented workers who are also losing their jobs and their homes and have paid all their taxes but are unable to claim any benefits, who's going to lend them a hand? Many questions still remain unanswered, but Latino voters remain hopeful that their voices will finally be heard. They, like the rest of Americans, positively await for the renewal of America.
Today, I say to you that the challenges we face are real.
A hard path lies ahead of Obama and his administration, and only time will tell how much can actually be accomplished, and whether Latinos will be able to move ahead with the rest of the country or once again be left behind.
William Ramos, that segment makes sobering viewing, but is it a little early to be talking about whether or not the new president can hit some of those targets established by his predecessor? Doesn't it take some time to get the new appointees in and on the job?
It absolutely does. We're a week into this administration, and while the transition period was pretty much quicker than previous presidents, we still know that there's an opportunities for Latinos to fill in many positions within the administration at the sub-cabinet level, at the all the positions that are Senate appointed, and all the positions that don't require to go through Senate confirmation. Not Senate, they're required to go Senate confirmation. So we will be holding the administration, to their word that they're going to make this administration look like the face of America, to include, the 15 to 17% that is Latino in the United States.
There's still a lot of people being hired, a lot of people being considered. I mean, it's not too late if you think you want to work for the Obama administration, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, a job search usually takes a few months, and this administration is going through hundreds of names that the Latino organizations have forwarded it for different positions within the administration and cabinet levels positions.
Leslie Sanchez, what do you see so far?
You know, it's interesting. If you think to my experience with the Bush administration, there were lists. Yes, there are thousands of names of volunteers, of key campaign staff that need to be placed. I mean, I think the critical part is they're looking at that. But also the depth of these appointments. We want to ensure that Latinos don't end up in the traditional Latino roles. Sometimes you think of labor or the housing and urban development, but there are many amply qualified Latinos in financial services who would be great and do a great service for America to be at the Treasury Department, to look at the USTR, the Trade Representative's Office, but things, and focus on Latin America at the State Department. There's a variety, and that's Latino specific, but there's a variety of experiences that Latinos can bring to the table that are beyond traditional agencies that people tend to look at.
Israel, our opening report looked not only at the jobs and the politics, but also at the economy. Now, since we're living through a crisis that heavily affects Wall Street and the banking sector, and for reasons I think we all understand, we're not a people in this country for whom that's that important yet. I mean, as far as being investors and bankers. Is the emphasis going to be in places where rank and file Latino citizens in New York, in Florida, in Arizona, in California are going to feel at least this first phase of a recovery plan?
Absolutely. And I mean, I think it's important to note the growing number of Hispanic business owners in our country. And so this is why it's important that we as Latinos become engaged and learn about the bills that are before Congress, especially the stimulus bill, and really find out, how is this going to help me, or is this going to just put us further into debt? And so I think you're right. I think, I think in the short term, Latinos are going to be impacted by what's happening in the country right now with the economy being so bad, like the rest of us, like the rest of America. So we need to be engaged.